Have you ever been studying for a long time and you start to get pain in the neck, headaches, migraines, maybe dizziness, maybe stiffness just along the spine, pain in your low back, shooting pain going into your arms? Then you need to watch this video. My name's Dr. Sandy. I've been practicing chiropractic now for over 25 years in the awesome city of Mississauga. And in that time since day one, my mission is to help people have the best quality of life possible. And in this video, we're going to talk about how poor health equals poor grades. And when I think back, when I used to study as well, when I was a student, it can be very intense. And it's a very interesting time, and especially now when I look at the younger generation, you have long hours in front of a screen. You're probably not moving enough, probably not sleeping enough, got poor nutrition. And then on the other hand, you're expected to get the best grades possible, which can really affect your future life. So this video is dedicated again to high school students, university students. So let's get into it. So those long hours of studying, and like I said, the nutrition is not the best, lack of movement, you're just not taking care of yourself. Like everything is working against you, like the lack of sleep. And obviously the biggest thing is the stress levels. The stress levels are so high, and then you're expected to perform at such a high level. And again, I've said so many times, this is like such a critical time in your life. So what we should be aware of is that number one, it's going to be almost impossible to get the high marks if you're not feeling your best. And I know that sounds obvious, but I have to say that because sometimes I think certain students are just pushing, grinding, not taking care of their health. And then they're thinking that, hey, I'll get the best marks. I mean, there can be situations where maybe that exam or test that's coming up may have to be delayed. There may be assistance required and things like that. So there has to be a better way. There should not be pain. And here's the thing I want to stress to you too, is like, I don't want to see anyone with headaches or migraines or back pain or anything like that, tired all the time. But especially with younger people, this is the best part of your life. Like you should be in optimal health, and you just have to develop systems to take care of yourself. But you have to remember, if you don't have your health, if you're just pushing, if you see sleep as a waste of time, movement as a waste of time, taking a break as a waste of time, it's going to catch up. And if anything, as I make this video, I was just reflecting on this, you want to develop the good habits now as that high school student, as a university student, because that will carry over into your professional life. If you're used to just grinding and pushing, that can really affect you career-wise. It can affect your health as you get older. So you want to get into good habits now. So let's talk about that. So number one, I came up with these 5 foundations, these 5 things. It's a framework basically to say how can we have the best level of health possible. So the first one is function. And what function means is how is the health of the spine, the nervous system. Now again, this is a critical part of the body, one of the most critical parts of the body, because it's really how the brain is talking to the body and how the body talks to the brain. It's this information highway. And what we want is we want that to be optimal. We don't want any pressure on that system, on that nervous system. We want it to be optimal. But here's what's happening. For hours on end, we have the younger generation, these students who are studying, and their posture is just going like this. And you can imagine just on a mechanical level that if someone is constantly in this position, what's going to happen? Yes, they can have neck pain, headaches, dizziness. They can have stiffness along the spine, even their low back. And then this becomes the foundation as they get older. So what has to happen is this spine needs to be taken care of. It needs to be in alignment, because also internally running through that is the nervous system, and specifically the central nervous system. So if there's any stress on that, again, inflammation response, pain. And then we have to remember when all this is happening as well, yes, it's going to affect muscle groups, it's going to affect organ groups. And then obviously if all this is happening with that stress on that nervous system, how can this person focus? And then you can get into stuff like brain fog, where it's just hard to, memorize things, or you're processing things and it takes an effort. So we want to optimize the body. We want to optimize the spine and nervous system so you can really study well. You can do well with exams. You can do well with tests or assignments and just be at your best. So again, we should be taking breaks, obviously, every hour. So even if you're studying, you need to take those kind of breaks. You want to take care of the nervous system. There should be stretching. Now, there's so much information, but I'll try to give you the best of the best. But if you are studying for long periods of time in front of a computer, Get up at least every hour. And I know sometimes when you're in a flow, it's hard to do that, but approximately every hour you want to get up. You want to move, you want to do some stretches. The best stretches for the neck, which carries a lot of where the spine is moving. The best one I would probably say, hands behind the back, and as long as you're comfortable, you're seated even, you can just have your head go back. Hold for a few seconds, maybe 10, 20 seconds, whatever you're comfortable with, obviously, but we're just going to have the head go this way. Have the head go side to side and do this, once an hour. It's easy, literally, and then just, gently pulling on the neck. If you could do this as a bare minimum, this will really help the body. Even if you're seated, and then if you can push away from the desk and just curl over, obviously, again, be comfortable, but these simple things we can do can really help the state of how the spine is functioning. Number 2, as a student, is fuel. And let's be honest, sometimes it's like you just grab anything close to you, but you want to prepare. I mean, that's really the theme throughout life. You want to prepare. So you should always have like a water bottle beside you. Herbal teas are good, non-caffeinated, obviously. And just, make a little effort with your nutrition. Maybe have some chopped veggies, some chopped fruit ready to go. Nuts, obviously, if you're not allergic to it. But just have some healthy options ready to be there, because otherwise it could be late at night. You just grab anything close to you, some chips, some muffins, and then you're putting that kind of fuel in the body and you're asking for optimal performance. It's not going to happen. So we want to have healthy options there. Number 3 is fitness. Now, what I would say is that, you want to take your breaks, even go for walks, do those kind of things, but you need to exercise. There is no question the body needs to move. And again, these are the same pressures you're going to feel in adulthood. A lot of adults are like, I just don't have the time. I just don't have the time. You make the time. And that may be, let's be honest, if you really don't exercise, maybe start with just a commitment of a 15-minute walk like 3 times a week, just something simple. It might be around your house. It might be just around the block, depending on the weather, things like that. But you just need to move. Now, if you're listening to this, and you're like, well, I do exercise 2-3 times a week. Make sure there's some cardio, some light weight training, whatever your body can handle, some stretching, but the body needs to move for optimal performance. Number 4 is called flow. And I think this may be the biggest thing for students, but for a lot of people, it's recovery, right? You need time to recover. So that is that getting enough sleep. And I know sometimes it might be crazy and you have to stay up a bit later. If I'm being transparent, I did way too many all-nighters, and I feel foolish, honestly. I can't believe the stuff I did when I was growing up, and I wish whatever I know now I knew back then. But I pulled all-nighters. My nutrition, everything could be better. Learn from me. I want everything better for you guys. So make sure you're getting rest. Get that sleep. Also, just taking a break. Like, even if you're studying, you need some days off, hang out with your friends, watch a movie, hang out with your family, whatever that looks like. You can't just go like 24/7, just study. You need time for recovery. So even your full day of studying, and I know there's going to be some times where it's going to be so intense, and I get it, but it can't be like that. Like, you can't go 100 miles an hour all the time. You need downtime. So maybe there's days where it's intense, but then okay, now for the next few days, I'm just going to take it easy. I might look, a little bit over my notes, but we're not going to go so hard. And I think there's a bigger conversation here about organization, not cramming. That's just not the way to do it. We want to plan. We want to have the notes that you're reviewing on a regular basis. Just cramming is not the best way to do it, but honor recovery, rest, the stretching, but honor your sleep. If you can sleep well, you'll do well, obviously, for the long term. And then focus. That's all about prayer, meditation, deep breathing. These are things, I think sometimes we look at students and we think, they're young, they can kind of handle it. Man, we should be teaching kids about the power of prayer, meditation, just learning to manage stress levels. And the younger they can learn it, the better. So maybe even, one thing I suggest to my patients is go on YouTube, just type in like water sounds, and you just listen to that. Just do some deep breathing. Start with 5 minutes. But here's what I want to tell you, and I look back at when I was younger too, is that I think sometimes we see rest, honestly, as a waste of time. Exercise can feel like a waste of time because you should study. Having the best nutrition, who cares? I'll just grab anything I want. We can't think like that. If you really want long-term health, long-term success, you have to take care of the body. And why not start when you're younger and get into those habits, so when you're in adulthood, you're on the right path anyhow. So I really hope this helps. I think the younger generation, I want them to do amazing in school, but you have to make your health a priority. You're never too young to make your health a priority. Don't think, yeah, like taking care of my body and everything, that's something that older people do. No, that's something you do now. You want to take care of it, get those habits, because you don't want to be in a position where, again, you get poor grades, it affects your future, or you have to, push off exams or whatever that looks like. It can get very complicated, and it could have been avoided. So be proactive with your health and start to have this mindset that the healthier I feel, the more successful I will be. The more I take care of my health, the better my grades are going to be. Start to look at that. Don't think they're opposites. They're actually on the same path. That making time for your health, eating well, taking care of your body, all those kind of things will result in success. So I hope this video helped you. If you or someone you care about is looking to get healthier and stronger, call our office at 905-896-3393. We offer also a free spinal checkup where we can see the health of the nervous system, which is the master system of the human body. And through that software that we have, through our analysis, we can let you know if there is an issue with the spine and nerve system, if we can help, what options you have. But we're here to serve. We want people to have a great life. That's all I can say. When I think about what I do every day, it's about serving people at the highest level so they can have the best life possible. So God bless you as always. And if you're listening to this and you're a student, make time for yourself. This is a critical part of your life, but I wish you much success in school. Have great health, and God bless you.